Hey guys, Analog Man here for another quick deck profile, and as you can see from the title, we are looking at Beelstar, blue Beelstar to be precise. For BT9, the deck has to essentially adapt to dealing with basically 3 to 4 different OTK decks, and blue is one of the most reliable source of power for this deck at the moment. Even in BT8, the decks have shifted over to using other colors. I actually had a friend who was planning to play some sort of like rainbow build where you can run like all of the colors and run almost every single 7 cost option card in a sense, but that's for the future and when we get more tamers that give different colors. But yeah, the deck is essentially a counter to uh, a lot of the X antibody decks coming out because a lot of them rely actually on basically kind of building up and raising. So this deck capitalizes on that because it can swing fast and rush, and then late game it can help remove the board really fast. So this deck, I honestly feel might be tier 1. It might actually be able to counter Alpha or stay with Alpha on the top 2 spots. Maybe Alpha might be first, and then second will be Beelstar decks that kind of like counter it basically. But aside from that, this deck has a really strong power essentially at this point to basically take on almost anything because of the new additions from BT9. But let's actually get into it so I can show you why this deck has that power. First, of course, we're playing 4 Demi-Meramons. I have the one alt art because I'm still trying to get the other ones. But this card is still really solid, helps you draw 1, discard 1 on deletion. Still a really powerful card, and still we do not have a confirmation on mulligans, so I'm keeping this at 4 for consistency purposes. So yeah, that's the 4 eggs. Then for the rookies, we run 4 of the BT2 Goblimon. Goblimon is still really busted, giving you that draw 2, discard 1 is still really strong. Then we're running 3 Gazzies. I will be bumping this up to 4 once I get my extra copies in the mail. But yeah, there will be a 4th copy because this deck does not use the Gabu X evolution on top of Gabumon. This one actually focuses on Gazzy, which is really nice because Gazzy actually is really crucial against Alphamon specifically because it prevents them from gaining memory from their decks, undead Digimon basically, because they evolve and then discard to gain a memory. This will not allow them to do that, and it's kind of hard for them to get rid of this, especially if you have a level 4 on board or even Beelstar. They have to get rid of the highest cost, so they actually can't hit this. And most builds do not run removal to kill level 3s or actually level 4s and lower, basically. So it's really rough for Alphamon to be able to get past him, which is kind of funny, honestly, because he's just a normal rookie. Yeah, then we run 2 of the new Gazzy X. Gazzy X honestly won me a game in testing. He's really busted. The fact that you can evolve on top of Gazzy and then mill 3 cards, that is really crucial in this deck because potentially you can make your Beelstar 1 cost cheaper, and that's just enough to basically play it for less cost so that you don't pass turn. So that way you can play another one or evolve on top of it to wipe their board, which is really important. Then we're running 1 Psychmon and 1 Dratmon. I will be taking out Psychmon for the 4th Gazimon because this card doesn't really do much against opponents at the moment. This card will not be really relevant until we hit BT10, and this actively hurts you too because it does stop both players. While Dratmon is still useful because if you play this off of Nailbone, you do get to uh, basically have another guy, and also the fact that he does recover an option, so you can use this to basically recycle all of your calling from darknesses, which is really nice. So one of him is really nice. I will be taking, as I said, this guy will be coming out because of that. But yeah, that's all the rookies. We don't really run that many like we used to. We're only running 11. Before we actually ran 10, but I feel like the focus on Gazzy and Gabu and then the X and this just for the extra is really useful for now. But it might change in the future depending on if they brick or whatever. But so far in testing, they've actually been doing pretty well, so it's not too bad. Yep. Then let's go to level 4s. We have 4 scatter modes, of course, because scatter mode is still the top tier deck or the top tier freaking purple level 4 because on deletion it draws 3 and lets you discard 2 cards, and this is still really powerful because of that. Even without Eismon, this card is still busted, and honestly, I really hope they don't hit this card because it's really good. and it honestly keeps purple alive essentially. So yeah. Then for the other level 4s, we run 2 Vilemons because Vilemon is a blocker and does help you kind of save yourself, especially in this OTK format. You do need this guy. He's very crucial. The only downside is that when attacking, you lose 2 memory, but it's whatever. But yeah. Then we run 1 Ginkaku Promote. I've won games mainly just by spamming him, so really crucial to have at least 1 copy. Then 1 Ogremon from EX1. This guy is really powerful because he can do multiple checks, and the fact that he does help you trash your cards, so really solid. And then 1 of Doberman. Doberman is really really good in this deck. Honestly, I really wish I could run 1 more, but I don't have the room for it. The fact that Doberman can just grab a Tamer or any purple Digimon. It doesn't specify levels. It just specifies the color, so you can grab at your level 7 purple in this deck, which is insane how that works. Then that's basically it. We don't really run that many level 4s. We don't really need it. The main thing is to just kind of rush them. So having rookies and this together are already plenty enough. But yeah. Let's get, we don't run any level 5s, so we're just going to go straight into level 6. We're running the 4 Beelstars, of course, the heart and soul of this deck. This card is still really OP and powerful, and as I said, I still really hope they don't hit purple in any capacity because this card is really busted and basically helps the deck keep going. But yeah, reduce its own cost, gets to replay option cards, still busted. But yeah, that's all the level 6s we run. For level 7s, of course, we run the brand new Def Xmon. Def Xmon is super busted because he can reduce his cost by 3 for every Tamer and Digimon. So once your opponent has 2 Tamers and 2 Digimon on board, this basically becomes it's like an 8 cost basically. So you can just play this for 8, pass the turn, de-digivolve their entire board and kill all their level 4s, and then at the end of your opponent's turn, once per turn, it deletes all of your opponents with the lowest play cost. So you basically constantly board wipe them every turn, which is really gross. But yeah, that's all the Digimon we are running in this deck. The rest are honestly just options and tamers. So for options, we run, of course, 4 Fly Bullets because Fly Bullet is really busted, kills level 6, and you can replay it with Beelstar, of course. 3 Nail Bones because you can just keep summoning back a bunch of level 3s and 4s. Just summon like all 3 of your Gazzies or all 4 of your Gazzies, and they basically Alphamon can't do anything and gain memory. And you can keep memory choking them if they don't have their Coda, which most of the time they will not because most Alphamons will be running Coda at 2 max, so they won't have a memory tamer. So you can just keep memory choking them with Beelstar and basically just like set up a whole defensive board. Yeah. Then we run, of course, 4 Cocytus Breast because it's one of the few cards that actually can hit Alphamon after it's been equipped with Adora Gray. So this will just bounce it back to hand, and it's just really powerful, this card. And of course, the way to resolve this is, of course, to run a blue tamer, but you only need 2 to honestly do that, but the rest of the cards will take care of any of the other decks. Then we run 1 Howling Crusher. Howling Crusher is really crucial against all the OTK decks of BT9 because this wipes out all of their sources. And once they lose their sources, they lose their power. So this card is really crucial. And you might be asking, why am I only just running 1 at the moment? I haven't been able to fit in a second one. Honestly, if I could, I would fit in a second one, but for now I only have 1. And this card, I see it honestly really often, so I don't really think I need a second copy because it might brick my hand. But the fact that this can just wipe any deck is really strong, so I highly recommend at least running 1 or 2 copies. Then we run 1 Happy Bullet Shower because Happy Bullet Shower kills everything with the lowest DP, and against an OTK deck, they only have 1 guy on board, and that will just instant kill them. Then Gewalt Schwarmer, of course, we need at least 1 to take care of their board. If we're playing against, let's say, a Rookie Rush board or a Magna X board, they'll have a ton of guys on board, so this will help kind of wipe their board a little bit and maybe kill their armors for a turn. Then we run 3 Callings. Calling is actually way more powerful this format, so I bumped it up from 2 to 3. This card has won me games because I've been able to grab a Beelstar back and summon back Ginkaku multiple times thanks to this card. So really solid. Yeah. Then we run 2 Missed Memory Boosts for the last 2 options. This card, originally I was kind of on the fence about this because it's just a memory boost and it's not as good as the other one. But the fact that it gets to mill the first two cards and then you draw a card, it's honestly this card has actually unbricked my hand multiple times, which is really insane. Like I never thought that a common would be really powerful, but this card is really strong. It's like honestly, it's like the reinforced memory boost for this deck because it sets you up, it gets you a draw, and it gives you memory. It's really good. And two memory is nothing to joke about. That can win you games sometimes. So this card's really good. Then that's basically all the options we're running. We run a lot, of course, because to set up Beelstar and make her a cheaper cost. But for Tamers, we actually don't really run that much. We run the two analog boys because, of course, this does help us mill the deck and grab a Digimon that we need, like say Beelstar. Then we're running two of the new Kiyoshiro, whatever his name is. I still can't pronounce his name because his name is just so freaking long. It's insane. But the cool thing is that he is a memory tamer, and when you swing with anything that's level 5 or higher, so basically Beelstar or Def X, you basically get to draw an extra card if you have 7 or less cards, which is really cool. I like that extra draw because sometimes I've like used up my hand, so this kind of helps me net back something I need. And then we run one more memory tamer in the form of Matt. Matt is still really good, but you don't absolutely need multiple copies. You want to have this more, honestly. One Matt is to just maybe get back your Def X or just something. So really solid. So far in testing, this deck honestly has felt the most solid. It's probably because I have the most experience with it because I've been playing this deck since it came out. I even topped a regional with it. I got 38th place, so I got like top 64 with it, and I just like this deck is honestly the next level below security control, which is my main deck at the moment. So I'm more used to this kind of control base or rush with control base rather than OTK decks, which is why some of my OTK decks I'm not really feeling yet at the moment. Like Middle Guru is really nice, but it doesn't have enough control. It's just kind of like if you get it, like if you get the pieces, you win. If not, you lose. But with this deck, you have like so many other options. You have like the level 4s that kind of help you do stuff, the level 3s that can help you do stuff, the level 7s help you do stuff, and the options all can kind of like keep the board clean for you while you kind of set up, which is really nice. Like but as I said, it is my bias with this deck because I've been playing this probably the longest. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's the deck profile. Let me know what you thought of it. Honestly, like any advice, or whatever, because honestly, I this is just a template of a deck. This is the one that I have so far after a bit of testing on Discord. So just kind of use this, maybe use some of the text that I do and then for your build, and then just let me know how that went. But aside from that, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that, and I'll see you guys next time.